Alrighty folks, welcome back to Adobe Live. I hope you guys are ready to start your day. I don't know where you folks are, but I am in Northern California. It is an early 9 a.m. In Northern California for me, and I am ready to get started. This is our last challenge of this round of challenges, and I'm really excited for it because not only have I prepared a pretty cool starter file for you folks, we are also going to be diving into creating and posting the actual case study today for a series or a project or something. And this is something that I see people in chat asking all the time. Like, how do I make a case study? How do I design a project that looks pretty? How do I actually put a bunch of pieces of artwork in a Behance, project that looks nice and you want to like scroll through it and look through it and all those things. So we're going to do that. We're going to dive into not only like posting all of the different elements, but we are going to kind of dive into tags and categories and how to actually set up your project behind the scenes, so that everything is searchable, and people can look up your project. And even if people are not looking up your project specifically, what people type in will bring your project to them. So I'm very excited. For those of you who don't know me, who weren't here for the previous challenges, or who maybe are brand new to Adobe Live today, my name is Voodoo Val. I'm kind of a regular Photoshop daily creative challenge instructor here. I'm a guest, I'm a host, I'm a lot of things over here. And if you're over on YouTube, please come over to behance.net/live because I'm going to be reading the Behance chat, not the YouTube chat. Susanna, Jennifer, Sam, Frank, Sean, Ferry, Subin, Chad. It is so good to see all of you folks. I see Afroja as well. It's good to see you, Afroja. Andreas, General Kenobi. Hello there. It's good to see you too. I've got my my Sith Trooper shirt on this morning, so I'm representing the Star Wars fam this morning. But yeah, let's jump into everything because we do have a lot to cover today. So, number one, I am going to pull up the landing page just very briefly because I want you folks to know where you can get all of the information. So let me snag this right here and then I'm going to pull it up. Let's go over here. This is behance.net/challenge/Photoshop. You will know that you are in the right place if it's got the Photoshop logo up here and then it says January 4th to January 29th. Now, you'll notice that this has changed because it usually says January 4th to January 15th. I think you're going to be seeing this round of challenges again in the next 2 weeks, even though they won't be live. You folks can actually review them live with the chat here, which is kind of cool instead of going back and watching the archive videos on your own. And I'm going to try and be here as much as I possibly can during the rebroadcast, like kind of the encores of these challenges for the next couple of weeks so that I can answer questions in the chat while I'm teaching the broadcast, which would be cool. But if you don't see this this date, that's probably because you're in the future and I'm in the past and you're watching the archived videos. All you have to do is scroll down to the bottom here, check out the dates and select the beginning of January, and you will have all the starter files and all the links to watch all the videos. You can also get the 1 through 4 of how does it work to kind of get involved with us here, and you can review all of the challenges for this segment. Today is the Publish Your Work challenge, which I'm very excited about, as I said. You can also join our Discord, which is bit.ly/ps Discord, and post your work in the current challenge channel, which normally I go over at the beginning, but this is a hefty challenge, so I'm going to go ahead and just dive into work. This is the starter file for challenge number 9. It has kind of a lot of the finished project files and things that I actually have created for my case study, for my Animal Crossing illustrations and portraits and things that I have chosen to do consistently for this series. And what I have here is a little spiel thing here that just says publish your first Behance project of 2021. If you already published a Behance project this year, that's fine too, but this is supposed to be like, you know, a 2-week challenge kind of guiding you through posting your first project if you didn't have one planned. Use your assets from this challenge or the ones created by Val in the starter file to create a professional case study. So this is what I have for you in this file. I have dividing graphics. I have I did actually come back. If you look in the titles artboard, I have the little title down here that I said I was going to try and make, as well as our 6-pot kind of title that I animated yesterday. I've got that in there. Unfortunately, they won't animate, I don't think, for you, because I didn't put the GIFs in here, I don't believe. But you do have a title to kind of experiment with, so when you know, if you want to follow along with me as I start dropping things in here, you can. If you come to the villagers, I have all of the villager portraits that I've done, so you can hide this and you can go through, and I've got my paintings in here for you folks, so that you can follow along kind of creating this this case study with me, just in case you have not created all of the assets for your own case study. I've got the same thing here in players. If I hide that, you guys can see I can go down here, and I've got all of these portraits of characters. This one is actually Shauna Parmesan, or Shauna Panchazin. You guys probably know Shauna Lynn here, who illustrates. This is her Animal Crossing character that she sent me a picture of. That was a lot of fun to do. But I have all of those, and then I also have game items here, as you can see. So if I hide that, you can see I've got the fossil, I've got the leaf, I've got the coin, and I've got the sapling that we used in the title. So got all that stuff here. I've also got some dividing graphics. So as you can see, there's like a footer, there's like a topper kind of thing here, and then there's also like a little tiny divider made with the fossils, and then, like I said, the title. So this should be like pretty good in terms of kind of designing, uploading assets and things, and trying to create an interesting piece for the case study. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up Behance, and I'm going to just jump and go ahead straight into creating my project. And I'm going to actually do that by, if I can, I'm going to let me see if I can, yeah, there we go. I'm going to actually capture my larger monitor, and I'm going to do that like so. Let me grab this real quick. I'm going to go into the properties here, and I'm just going to, I think, possibly. There we go. All right, done. So this is, I have my bigger monitor kind of captured here so that everyone can see what I'm doing a little bit better. I don't think my banner actually got uploaded. I think maybe I must have not saved that. So I'm going to upload my banner too, but I'm going to come up here to create a project. And it gives me this editor here. I'm also going to open up my files here so that I have my files I can drag and drop. I've given you a starter file with all the files in it, but I actually have the exact same files kind of put into folders so I can drag them into Behance. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my header or like the title, header and footer to my project, and then start adding things in between them. That's a way that you can do it. You could also just kind of work your way down. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll just work our way down from the very top. So I've got this thing. I'm just going to go image, and I am going to jump into my case study folder, and I'm going to click this kind of topper image. So I have, like, you don't have to put a topper kind of motif up at the top here, but I thought it would be kind of cool to like sandwich my project into some designs like that. So I made one. And then now we can actually try the two different titles we have. So I'm gonna put my title at the beginning. So you notice I'm hovering over here. For those of you who are very unfamiliar with uploading Behance projects, right after I upload something, I can come over here and say add content, or what I typically do is just hover over and select what I want to do. So I want to insert another image. So I am going to show you, this is the title that I made on stream yesterday. It's rather large. And I can scooch it in if I want to. And it has like these little plants just growing, which is kind of cute. And then another one, which I can, if you want to replace an image in Behance, all you have to do is click on this little icon, replace image. Another one that I did is this one that is smaller. I almost kind of like the smaller one, because remember at the end of yesterday's stream, I said I'm gonna attempt to do some that's like not so busy. So I might actually leave it on this unless we get to the end of this and we don't really like it. And the next thing that I'm going to do is add a fossil divider. I do want to add some text into this portion here. However, I'm going to do that last minute. So I'm going to add a fossil divider. One of the things that I want to call attention to when it comes to the fossil is if I upload the fossil design kind of as they are in the project, it's going to make these fossils really, really big. So this is what I suggest you do. I'm going to pull my Photoshop over to the larger monitor as well. I suggest that you come over and add this into its own file. Because what you should do, I can come over to libraries and just grab the raw file from my libraries. In fact, if I go to graphics, the way to make this, because yeah, see, if I just have like this one image of these fossils like this, when I upload it to my Behance project, it's going to be like huge, and that's not the kind of divider graphic that I want. What I suggest you do in order to put a very small little design into your project is to do this. And these are very small. I made them very small and then I sharpened them. So when they're large like this, they don't really look very good anyways. But if I zoom out and I hit C on my keyboard for my crop tool, and I start dragging out from the edge, holding Alt so that it does that on both sides, I can drag this out like that and hit Enter, and then save it like this. So now then I've saved it wide, and when I come to add this in, let me see if I can jump back over to my project. When I come to add this in my project, because I have this saved like this on my computer, it appears like this. See, it actually keeps that open space, and then I have like this little tiny divider. And between the Animal Crossing Portraits title here and the divider, I will have some copy. But we're going to just jump into adding some grids and throwing in my content. So for the grid, I'm going to just go ahead and say add a grid with the little grid icon here, and I'm going to say add image. You can also grab images from Lightroom if that is, you know, the nature of your project. Maybe your project is a photography project or something like that. You can do it. And I'm going to start with villager portraits. So I'm kind of toying with this idea where most people will have like a title graphic sort of like this, denoting the different categories of work they have in a huge project presentation. I thought it would be interesting to try like literally adding these. So I know that this looks a little strange, just like this giant villager portraits graphic, but I've added this first because it's in another folder. I'm going to come up here, I'm going to say edit grid, and then add more photos, upload files, and I'm going to go into a folder that I have with just my villager images, and I'm going to grab them and I'm going to open them. And then you can see I have now, it says villager portraits, so when you're scrolling through you see this grid and it's got all this stuff, you know, but it also kind of shows what these are, you know, so it kind of titles and labels this without it kind of breaking the mold of this. And I like that. And you can drag things around in your grid and so on and so forth. I think that this looks really good, actually. So I'm going to hit done. And now I have this little segment here that just says villager portraits. So you know what it is. And you've got all the little pictures and you can click on them and whatnot. The next one I'm going to do, I'm going to hit my grid button again. And I am going to do the same thing, but we are going to upload some game items. So let me grab my game items like miscellaneous game items. We'll click edit again, add photos, upload files, and then I'll navigate to my items here, and I'm going to open all of these. This is my coin, my sapling, my, you know, my fossil, my, you know, my leaf, all that, and then hit done. They're a little smaller than this because the grid does kind of resize as you do this, but I think it looks good. So I have my little title here, Miss Game Items, all my game items, and then we're also going to add in the player portraits because I did some portraits in this style specifically of players, not actual villagers that people are familiar with, but actual people who play this game. So I'm going to snag, oops, let me grab our title first, player portraits. I'm going to squish this in. Notice I'm doing this. This is to either push it to the very borders of your project or to bring it in just a little bit. The only thing that I really leave out is this like header and title. I left them like out so that they stretch past the content, but I like the look of pushing the content in. I think it makes it look a little more professional and a little more framed, if that makes sense. So we have our player portraits. I'm gonna hit edit grid, add photos, upload photos. Let's navigate to my player images. Boom. We will upload all of those. And then I think I'm gonna move this one down here and hit done. I think those look pretty darn good. And so now I have my content, and all of the sections of my content have titles so people know what it is. And you can scroll through here and like see a bunch of content. The last thing I will do is add another little divider here. So we can add another little fossil divider like so. And then I'm gonna put my little footer that I made, not in a grid. How about not a grid? Delete grid. Let's just say image, and then I will add my footer. And it's just kind of the exact same thing as this, except this one says thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and it kind of trails off the screen, which I did with the text on a path. You know, just I thought that might be something cool, and I experimented with it, and that's what I got. So I have now a header, a title, and a footer for my project. I have these nifty little dividing graphics here that kind of separate things. Now I need to add some copy of some kind to kind of give this more personality, because this is really fun to look at. I think it's got a lot of color, it's got a lot of energy, but what we really need is something that tells people what the project is and why I did it. So I can just add some text here, and I'm simply going to say, this project, and this is for anyone that like struggles with copy, like what to say in a Behance project. I'm going to say this project began late 2020, as something that I did for relaxation and stress relief, as something that I worked on for relaxation and stress relief. That is not how you spell relief, but you guys know I'm an abominable speller. And then so that's when the project began. Now your audience has context, but now, like, is it over? What are you doing with it? As I said, this is a DCC about creating a series, so I've decided that because I enjoy doing these so much, and because other people seem to enjoy seeing them so much, I've decided to continue this on for the entire year of 2021. So I'm going to say just that. Because of the impact, or I'm going to say positive impact these creations had on my life, and seemed to have in the community, I have decided to continue this series through 2021. That is also not how you spell 2021, through or this. So I do have to come in here and do this. And then I'm going to say, I hope you all enjoy viewing these paintings as much as I enjoy creating them. And that's it. That's, you know, it shows people where you started, why, you know, why you started it, and what you're doing with it. And then something kind at the end. Some people like to go a little bit more in depth with these projects, but I personally, I think that that's enough. If I showed up here to look at all of these things, that's like not so much information that I want to skip over it, but it's also, you know, not too little information where I'm just like, well, what is this even? So it has a little bit of context here. If I wanted, I could come in and add some text before each of these little segments, you know, to give some context, like these are the villagers from the game, these are the items from the game, and these are not, you know, game characters, but they are the custom characters of people who play Animal Crossing. But I think also there's beauty in like the minimalist approach to context, and that is I have villager portraits here, I have game items here, and I have player portraits here. And so that can work. So I'm going to leave it at this. I'm going to say continue. Now I'm going to give my project a title, and I am going to call this Animal Crossing New Horizons. That's the abbreviation that most people are familiar with for the game. Animal Crossing New Horizons portraits, and well, I could say portraits and items, because that's what it is. Maybe that's not a clever title, but I think it works because that's exactly what's in this. Project tags, up to 10 words. I'm going to say painting with a comma, and that makes the tag. I'm going to say illustration. That makes the tag. What are some other great ones that you think, chat? We could add video game design too, because this is all about a video game. It might not be me designing for a specific video game, but people who would look for video game projects would probably find this, you know, interesting. So we can put video game in here. We could put case study is a good one, Sandra. We could put case study. Let's see. Oh, the abbreviation Mariah. That's a very good idea. So we can put Animal Crossing New Horizons. We could also just write Animal Crossing here. How are we doing on time? But you get the idea. I want to make sure that I don't go too crazy on this. Photoshop is a good one. Photoshop. Nintendo. Okay. That's all I'm going to add for now. And then tools used. And I want to put that I used Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop, and Adobe Fresco for these. I actually used Fresco more. I used this project is probably 80% Fresco. And then the categories. So illustration, I'm gonna just put illustration for now. And I'm gonna say this does not contain adult content. And then I'm gonna edit the cover image, and I'm actually gonna use one of the images here. Maybe we'll use Hornsby. Or maybe let me grab, my favorite one is my turnip baby. So we're actually going to use her. I think that she looks great. We'll move her little head up there. And I'm going to say crop. and then I'm going to say publish. And now you guys can actually go to my my profile if you like, and you will be able to actually take a look at this project. It's there. It's there. If I go to my thing, you guys can see it's right there. You can check it out for yourself. So thank you. I really do have to take off because I'm running out of time, but you guys are all wonderful. I hope that this helped you when it comes to uploading your projects, and I will see you next time. Adios, folks. Much love and happy designing.